lot of information, but the most important piece for you to take away is one fact. Food is fuel. Food exists to give you energy. It's important. You have to have it to live. Basically, let's use the analogy of your car and gasoline. Gasoline goes in the tank, the car can go. The car is out of gasoline, the car can't go. We do not go to the gas station and differentiate between flavors of gas. Now, there's high octane fuel. I don't know anything about this stuff, but there's a 92 and a 90 and an 87, and one is really good and one is just fine. But ultimately, fuel goes in the car goes. Food is your fuel. There's high octane, there's like a couple levels, and then there's junk. Your body needs fuel. The only reason to put fuel in your body is so you can go. If you're hungry, that means your body needs fuel. Your body knows exactly what it needs, and it will communicate it to you. When you are hungry, on a scale of 1 to 10, like 7 to an 8, that's a good level of hungry. It feels good to say, oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to have some fuel. This is when you should be choosing food. You should be choosing protein first, because protein is like putting a log on the fire. It's going to burn nice and long and hot and steady. It's like putting the high octane fuel in. It's the best. So when you're hungry, you put in high octane fuel. The car runs out of gas, you put in the high octane fuel. Choose protein. Now, if you get super full on your protein, you're done. Once you're full, you're done eating. Just like at the gas station, I don't see many people keeping the nozzle in the gas tank and just letting it overflow and then filling the back seat and filling a couple cans and putting it in there. No, you fill the tank, you leave. Our society makes this very hard because we have large portions. Our parents often, they grew up in scarcity. Food was scarce. So when they put food on your plate, you do not waste that food. You clean that plate, even if you're full. The Clean Plate Club is a tough one for a lot of us in my generation. But we don't have to stay that way. We can start cueing into our hunger. Food is fuel. The only reason to eat is to fuel your body. So how do you do this? You choose protein first. If you want to eat some junk food, just because we understand we don't have to have junk food and junk food is junk, doesn't mean that you can't choose it sometimes and put non-optimal fuel in your body. But it sure feels differently when you choose it logically and with control, and because you know what it is and what it is not, and when you eat it compulsively. So let's say you're going to that birthday party and you're hungry. To a scale of 7 to 8, you're pretty hungry. You go there, they've got a pile of food there. It's not super duper healthy, but you find some protein options. So what do? You grab that protein, you eat the protein. You see the cake, you think, do I want the cake? I don't know. The cake isn't good for me, it's sugar. Maybe you don't want the cake. There's no desire for it. That's awesome. What if you're like, my mom made the cake. She's going to have hurt feelings if I don't eat the cake. I want a bite of the cake. All right. Now we're eating cake because of a good reason, not because we must have the cake and not because we're going to eat half the cake. So now we say, all right, I'm going to eat protein. I'm going to leave a little bit of space in the tank for a couple bites of that cake. And then I'm going to walk away. I'm going to leave the gas station. I'm going to leave that table. I'm going to put my plate down. I'm not going back. I've filled my tank. At your dinner table, you are hungry. That's why you're sitting there. You fill your plate with protein. When you are full, you put the fork down. This all sounds so logical, right? You're like, if I had this down, it was so easy, then I wouldn't be here. I understand this. This is why this is a learning process. But when you master this in conjunction with losing your desire for junk food, you're going to find yourself free from this whole food conversation forever. Because hunger is your body's way of saying, I need fuel. And you get to choose whatever you'd like to put into it based on how you feel. And if you always operate on, I eat when I'm hungry, and I start with protein, and I stop when I'm full, and I only eat junk foods and hyperpalatable foods out of choice, and after I've had protein, your body is going to settle into a beautiful place of being able to burn fat off your body, to feel good and have energy, and you're no longer going to be a slave to eating because of how you feel. That's the key. Food is fuel. Anytime you're feeling emotional and you want to go back to these old patterns, the first mantra for you to grab is, am I hungry? If you learn to ask and answer that question honestly, everything falls into place. And if you say, well, I'm not hungry, but I want it anyway, then the next question is, what do I really want? Ask and answer that question. What am I really feeling? Is this food going to address what my need is? If my need is not food, I'm not hungry, what is my need? Do I need a hug? Do I need to walk? Do I need to set an alarm so that I can take some pressure off my stress pile? Do I need to tell my children that I'm feeling stressed and I need a moment? Do I need to take a bath or a nap? Do I need to go to bed? What do I really need? And what is going to meet that need? Because anything other than the solution to that need is going to add to my list of needs. Food, where it is not needed, is a problem you've added to your list of problems. It will create an emotion that you will have to overcome in addition to the emotion you're already in. So, those are your two questions. Am I hungry? If yes, choose protein. If no, what am I really feeling? I like to say, what am I hungry for? It's hard in the moment to break that compulsion when you have that addiction, that withdrawal pattern going on. But if you're able to recognize this and ignore that little withdrawal twinge for long enough, the desire will go away. You will be in control. There will be no monster in your head telling you that you must choose these things to feel good or to feel happy. You will be in control of the fuel that goes in your tank. And you'll be free from all of these inanimate objects that seem to tell you that you must put them in your body. Remember your greatness. You are powerful. You always have been. If you have extra fat on your body, it's because of moments when you didn't know that you had a choice or you didn't understand what was happening. But now that you know, you're powerful to change the patterns, that you can break up with this addiction withdrawal cycle, that food that tastes good for a moment ends up hurting you in the long run and you don't have to desire it anymore. And when you learn that food is fuel and the only reason to put food in your body is in response to hunger, you'll be able to look around at your life and find that your emotions are a lot easier to handle. Life on life's terms becomes a lot easier to live because food is not adding to your list of things to overcome and to deal with. I want you out of the mud, and I just want you to remember that you are stronger than you know, that your greatness has always been there, that food is an inanimate object. It cannot jump into your mouth or your shopping cart without your assistance, and that you don't have to choose or desire anything that's hurting you ever again. There's freedom.